Hi everybody, it's Tina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry that I haven't had a video out, but I got sick, guys. It wasn't Big C, but it was something. It just lingered in there and I just couldn't get rid of it. And as you can tell by my voice, I'm still struggling with getting my voice back and I have a horrible cough still. But I feel a lot better. Today I'm getting out with my daughter and we're going to go over to the discount freight store. As you see right there, I just ran a red light. Yikes. And there's Lambert's. If you've ever been there, it's a great place to eat. But we're going to run over here to this discount freight store and see what they got. I also need a pan for a cake that I'm going to make later in this video. After we get done here, we're going to run over to Walmart and get a few ingredients that I need. But I needed a new pan to make this cake. It's called the Texas Buttermilk Sheet Cake. Absolutely love it. But my pan is old and I thought I'd see if I could find a new one over here for a good price. So we're going to run in here and see what we can find. I need buttermilk, buttermilk, buttermilk. That ought to be a cup, right?
More than a cup, I think.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're back home now and ready to make this cake. Again, it's called the Texas Buttermilk Sheet Cake. I'm just getting my ingredients together here, and you're going to need a cup of buttermilk, a cup of butter, a fourth a cup of cocoa, a cup of water, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And you're going to notice that the eggs are missing from this picture because I forgot about them until it was time to add them, but I did get them added. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my sheet pan ready for the cake. The instructions call for the nonstick cooking spray. I didn't have any and I forgot to pick some up, but the way we used to do it when I was younger, before there was such a thing as nonstick cooking spray, we would put a little butter on the pan and then dust it with some flour. And then you just knock off the excess flour and your pan is all ready for your cake. So what I did is I just put a little butter on there, stuck it in the oven so it'd melt a little bit, smeared it around, added some flour, dusted it around so that the pan was well coated, and then tapped the excess off in the trash. And now I'm ready for my cake. Okay, now you're going to get yourself a medium-sized saucepan and add to that your 2 sticks of butter or your 1 cup of butter, your 1 cup of water, and your 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Now, watch right here because I try to get fancy and do a different camera angle for you. I'm learning, guys. We'll get this figured out. Anyway, once you get all that in your saucepan, you want to combine it, bring it to a boil just over medium heat, medium high heat, and bring that to a boil till it cooks down to it's smooth. Doesn't take very long. Don't leave it because it doesn't take long. And then once it gets to a smooth texture and thickened up, just remove that from the heat and set aside. Next step, you're going to get a mixing bowl and add to that your flour, your sugar, your baking soda, and your salt. And then with a whisk, you want to combine that real well. Make sure it's all mixed together real well. Now to your dry mixture, you're going to add the chocolate mixture that you had just prepared in your saucepan. Just pour that in with your dry ingredients and then mix it together with your whisk to make sure that it's well combined. Once you have that mixed together really well, you're going to add in your 1 cup of buttermilk and the 2 eggs. See, I didn't forget them. Forgot them in the beginning in my ingredient list, but I did not forget to add them to the cake. And then you're also going to want to add in the vanilla. And once again, mix really well. And then we're ready to add it to our sheet pan. I did want to bring to your attention, if you notice your batter will be kind of bubbly, that's normal. It's not lumps, and it is supposed to be bubbly. The baking soda does that. It makes it more of kind of a spongy brownie type cake, but it's really good, I promise. Get that all evened out in your baking pan, and then you're ready to put it in the oven and bake. You will want to bake this in a 350-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. Let's get our ingredients out now for our icing. That's 6 tablespoons of buttermilk, a half a stick of butter, a 1/4 cup of cocoa, 3 1/2 cups of sifted powdered sugar, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Let's jump over here now and check our cake, inserting that toothpick to see if it comes out clean, and it does. So we're ready now to remove that from the oven and let it cool while we prepare the icing. Okay, back to that medium saucepan. You're going to add your 1/2 cup of butter or your 1 stick of butter, and you want to melt that completely. Once you have that completely melted down, to that you want to add in your 1/4 cup of cocoa powder and your 6 tablespoons of buttermilk. You're going to mix this until it is well combined. and it will kind of start getting thick, kind of looking like an icing. Once it gets to that point, you're going to want to remove it from the heat. And then with your hand mixer, you want to give it a good mix. This will just make it nice and smooth and creamy. And then we're going to add in that 3.5 cups of sifted powdered sugar. And right here, I would like to add in that sifting your powdered sugar is highly recommended. The first time I made this, I didn't do that, and my icing was lumpy. And so I have always sifted it since, and it turns out perfectly every time. And using your hand mixer to blend that in also is a good key point to be sure and do, because it does help with making the icing more creamy. Okay, guys, here I am getting all fancy again and adding in another camera angle. I'm just having a good time. This is a lot of fun making these videos, and I want to make them more interesting for you to watch, and as well as me having a good time. So I am just mixing in real well that powdered sugar, and it does take a bit to get that mixed in if you don't want to make a big mess all over your kitchen, and getting it nice and creamy and smooth so that we can add that to our cake. Okay, so the cake has been cooling for about 10 minutes. It's not completely cool, but it is cool enough. I also let the icing cool for about 5 minutes just so that it wasn't boiling hot when I poured it on the cake. It makes it a little thicker or stiffer so that it doesn't just run off the edges. Also, when it sits and cools, it kind of forms a crust on the top of the icing. It's kind of more fudgy like, and which is even better, right? But when you pour it onto your cake, just pour it all on there nice and thick, and then using your spatula, just coax and push the icing over to the edges of the cake instead of swiping it out thin like if you were icing a cake, because it kind of peels the cake back and gets crumbs in your icing. But otherwise, just push it in towards the edges like you can see I'm doing here. And again, it is kind of a fudgy texture once it cools off. Kind of gets a crust on the top. It's really good. I'm just going back in here trying to make it look a little smoother and pretty. And that is it. We are done with our cake and ready to eat. Okay, guys, that is it for this video. I thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today as we did a little shopping and made a wonderful, yummy chocolate cake. I hope that if you try this cake that you enjoy it. I promise if you like chocolate, then there is nothing about this cake that you won't like. Again, thank you so much. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would. It would mean more to me than you know. I thank you so much again for spending time with me. God bless. Have a wonderful day and love ya. Bye.